Let me give you a fact here. I'll tell you this right now, and I'll fillet myself open. I'll expose myself. And I'll say this with confidence and not an ego. I'm the Floyd Mayweather in technical recruiting. I'm the best. I've been doing it for a long 2 decades. I was the guy that the guys go, we got to hire this executive. We need to pull him from, Amazon. They come to me. I was the guy that gets the top engineers that can hack iPhones for, I won't say the individual, but he's a billionaire. He's like, I need people that can hack iPhones so they can protect me. Mm-hmm. They came to me. I was at Microsoft as a consultant. They want to hire me. I said no. I had Amazon as a client. I had all these startups, the biggest gaming publisher in the world. They bring me in to hire their engineering team and their executives. Okay, ready? 2021. The most money I made in 1 year ever in the history of doing this for 2 decades, over 2 decades. Man, I was recruiting when we faxed resumes, bro. That's how old I am. I'm OG, right? I mean, I was breakdancing in the 80s, bro. That's how old I am, right? Right? You know what I'm saying? And so 2021, I'm making lots of money. Since 2022 to now, I've lost millions and millions of dollars. And I mean that because of what I'm doing. But I'm doing it out of passion and because my goal is to empower men like you said, help men.
Yeah.
Because men's mental health, this is Men's Mental Health Month, by the way, but it's being masked by what? Gay pride.
Good point.
So the point is to help these guys out there because men suffer. We have it way harder than women. I'll let you talk about that. Yeah. But the point is like I feel the pull. I feel the need to help because some people say, Dav, you're lucky. Like, I had guys, how do you do it? How do you pull it? I figured out the game back in the day. I was figuring out the game, man. I was 15 and a half. I was out there at 15. I'm like figuring the game out. I'm like, wait a minute. How come this dude's doing this? How I didn't have money, but I figured out the game. The power of the tongue. I figured out how to, the fake and the funk, present yourself, how to show that, when you walk in a room, you command respect.
Yes, sir.
Right? And then I figured out, oh, wait a minute. If I show up with pretty girls, why are these girls interested? When I show up with my boys, I'm like kryptonite.
Oh, yeah.
Right? But we had to figure that out. We didn't have Rollo Tomasi. Yeah. Rollo, where were you? Right? We didn't have structure. Nobody was guiding us. Man, I was on the streets, man. I was watching pimps with all these women. Like, what were they doing? How were these guys doing this? And I'm like, and I figured it out. And then as I got into corporate America after the military, the squares, the guys that were the techies, and I'm in their space, they're like, how are you getting these pretty girlfriends? I was like, what do you mean? I didn't know it was an issue. And I started working with them. I role played with them. I said, come on, let's go out. I'll show you. See that girl there? Yeah, watch. I'll get her attention. Prettiest girl in the place. And they're like, how'd you do that? I know the game. And then I took it to another level. Now here I am, decades later, going, there's a lot of men suffering. And with the internet, the delusion of attention.
Yep.
Right? So we're going to talk about how you see the average men suffering right now. I know you talked a lot. I want you to address that. I want you to talk about that.
The average man suffering, yeah. So I think that a lot of men, they live in a fear state. They live in a state of, I don't want to lose access to women. So let me conform to their perception, even though it goes against my moral beliefs and what I believe into my core. And I see a lot of men in relationships with women. I can't tell you how many conversations I've had with men, and they're just unhappy. Their girl doesn't respect them. The relationship is toxic. And I asked them, like, so why don't you just leave? And they have no genuine answer, because for you to break up with her means you would have to go do this all over again. Like, you probably, the average guy, haven't had sex in a year? Like
100%.
Yeah. So it's like, it's a fear state. I don't want to lose access to sex. So you'll stay with a girl that you're not attracted to, that doesn't respect you, that it's just draining. And I just encourage, I encourage men to just break free out of toxic relationships. If you leave. Like, don't go back. I encourage everybody to be empowered to the point where you're secure enough and walking away from a woman.
They don't have the abundance.
They don't have the balls. They do not have the courage. You have to walk away from women. Like I know someone right now, they just had a toxic little breakup and I'm done with her. And then 2 days later, right back with him.
But you know why he's back?
But there's a lot of reasons.
Because when he said he was done, subconsciously he believed it. But then when the appearance of him being gone from her, she now was like, oh shit. See, women want what they can't have. Right?
Yep.
You can have 10 guys walk in a room, you have a multimillionaire and you can have a brokey. And if he has the right facade and appearance, he'll be more attractive. It's a perception.
Right.
Right? I don't want to say fake it till you make it, but he was like, I'm done. That's why Dan Bilzerian blew up. He got out of a bad relationship. He said, I'm just going to have fun. He threw his shit up on the internet. And she's like, oh, shit. Yeah. I don't need you. I choose to be with you. But the problem is these men really need them, and they act like it.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. So like you're living in a fear state. A lot of men are with women they just don't respect them, and I encourage you to be the best version, because the only way to command respect is to be the best man you can be. Like a woman has to look at you and admire you. Like your woman should be obsessed with you. Like if she's not obsessed with you, she's gonna start looking elsewhere. She has to like respect everything about you. It's just sad. It's messed up. Like for the average man, it's difficult because you don't have the money, you don't have the status, you don't have the bargaining power, you don't have the leverage. You have to accept whatever that woman wants. So if you don't have the position of leverage to lay firm standards, how do you navigate through that? You can't. You have to submit to the woman and what she wants and her perception, even though you don't believe it. So 100%. That's why these relationships turn toxic, because you have men that aren't living to they're not living true to who they are, and their women's not respecting them, and it's just this clash, and it creates this negative energy, and it's like, bro, you have to elevate. You can't blame it on the woman. This is why I love people think you hate women when you start talking about this. No, like,
dude, it blows my mind.
No, because I've had people that I've known for years.
You don't look like you hate women. Look at you. You're like G, Mr. G, right? You're showing up all good, clean cut.
Appreciate it, man.
You're not. Women are like, dude, this guy. Oh, he hates. Does he look like he hates women?
No, they can't accept the fact that I'm. Because like I said, I did do a switch. Like before it was more personal empowerment, and like women tend to gravitate towards that more. Like a lot of my audience was like 98% or 90% women. And then you see the shift when I start holding women accountable, right? When I'm not holding anything back. And what you'll see is, I have a problem with your stance on women. I get messages all the time, or you must hate women. I'm like, no, honestly, I'll tell you the cold hard truth. When I got red pilled, it made me love women even more. You want to know why? I'm going to tell you why. Because when I got heartbroken, or I got chosen over another guy for status, or they had more money than me at the time, I took that personal. Like there was something like, what is wrong with me? Why does this keep happening? But when I got red pilled, I realized, instead of pointing the finger that way, I'm going to point it here. Because every time you point the finger, there's 3 fingers pointed back.
Boom.